This one is bad. You want to talk about grand opening, grand closing? Well, you already know how that saying goes. And right now, DJ Vlad is standing in the middle of a full-on storm with no umbrella in sight. Here's where things stand. After last week's situation where Boosie essentially pulled back the curtain on everything happening between him and DJ Vlad, the fallout, the money disputes, the disagreements over interview rates, this week, Vlad has now lost another recurring guest, and this one hits differently. Aries Spears has officially been cut off by DJ Vlad. Done. Finished. Here's how it started. Last week, Aries Spears went on his own podcast and laid out what was going on between them. According to Aries, once the news broke about what Boosie had been getting paid for his VladTV appearances, he went straight to his phone and texted Vlad directly. The message was straightforward. Brother, you were paying Boosie $25,000 per interview. Call me immediately. We need to sit down and renegotiate because I need to be compensated at a different level.
And
he's probably mad that you said that because then everybody else wants to get paid.
No, he pays people.
Everybody? He pays.
Yeah, but we all get different pay. So people have said, yo, the most popular guest that Vlad has on, Lord Jamar, Tony Yayo, Godfrey, Boozy, and Aries. I'm the only one left. Godfrey stopped because of the beef with Farrakhan, as did Lord Jamar. Tony Yayo just doesn't do it anymore. And Boozy wanted a raise. Come to find out, Boozy wanted $35,000 an episode.
Wow.
He was getting $25,000.
Wow.
So I don't get nowhere near that. And, obviously it's based on the numbers because a lot of Boozy's clips are in the millions. Now, again, I've had a few clips in the millions, but a lot of my stuff, the full interview, probably ranges around $300,000 to $500,000. So I basically said to Vlad, I go, hey, listen, man, I'm not trying financially. I know I'm not going to ask you for what you gave Boozy. But, come on, man. I mean,
break bread,
nigga. And he goes, well, your numbers don't generate what Boozy generate. And so I showed him a bunch of, people that quotes and on YouTube and shit like that and on my phone. And one person said, hey, man, I only buy Vlad subscriptions when I know he's interviewing you. Once the interview's over, I cancel the subscription. Another guy said, hey, man, Aries is a beast. Pay him what you pay in them other niggas. And blah, blah. So there's a bunch of these. So he goes, so you want me to pay you more based off of what people are saying? And I said, listen, man, again, I'm just saying, be fair. People are saying to you, they're buying subscriptions. People are saying to you, they only watch when I'm on. And of all the guys you had that were popular, I'm the last one standing. What's your take?
Yeah. It's a couple things. And you hit the ones that you needed to hit.
Yeah.
What would you have wanted?
That's beside the point. He asked him to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, a couple grand more.
Yeah.
But the thing that he's right in the idea that, yes, you have loyal fans that are calling up and representing you. That's great. And people have that.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that moves the needle where it's going to pay him the amount of money that he wants to make off of an episode. Those diehards are there for you, but are they there? Is there enough of them to make the numbers work? And you guys see the numbers, so you can make that decision yourselves, you too. But the other thing is, the thing that you said, you're the last one there. So he's not going to generate numbers. And if you go, where are those numbers going to come from? Now he's going to have to do episodes with people who are doing much less.
Well, here's the funny part. So, of course, he, was being really like, blah, 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 blah. And I said, he kept driving that point home. You just going to you want me to give you a raise based off what people are saying? I said, listen, man, you don't have to keep telling me about what my worth is. You either want to do it or you don't. So then he texted me back a couple hours later and said, we should talk.
This is a really unfortunate turn of events when you step back and look at the full picture. DJ Vlad was genuinely one of the pioneers who helped normalize paying guests for interviews in the media space. He helped establish that model before most people were even thinking about it that way. And now, years later, that same model is starting to create serious problems for him. Here's the core issue as I see it.
DJ Vlad is walking into two very real problems simultaneously. The first one is simple human nature. Once money enters the conversation and people find out exactly what others are being paid, everyone is going to want more. Boosie and Aries Spears are not going to be the last ones to make that move. It might not happen all at once, but eventually a large portion of his regular guests are going to look at those numbers, compare them to what they're receiving, and decide they deserve a bigger piece. If Vlad was paying Aries Spears around $4,000 per interview, you can reasonably assume that rate is close to what most of his guests are working with. And now that information is out in the open, that becomes a very difficult conversation to avoid. The second problem is the pattern of publicly firing back at and exposing guests after things go sideways. Right now, it's generating attention, and people are tuning in for the drama. But long-term, this approach could quietly poison the well. Other guests are going to start watching these situations unfold and ask themselves a very reasonable question. If things go wrong between us down the line, and I speak on it publicly, is Vlad going to come out and expose my personal business too? And that concern is valid. In the interview Vlad just dropped, he didn't just address the fallout. He revealed that Aries Spears required full makeup before every single interview, and then turned around and took shots at Aries' podcast for underperforming on YouTube. That's a specific kind of public humiliation that people are going to remember. This is a slippery slope, because at the end of the day, Vlad wasn't just paying these people to show up and talk. He was also giving them a platform, cross-promotion, and visibility for whatever else they had going on. The relationship ran deeper than just a check. And to have it end this publicly, this messily, it's a reminder that in this industry there are very few genuine friendships. Business is